a lot of girls think that, oh, the answer to all my life's problems will lie in winning a pageant. And I always caution against that. I think it's extremely dangerous. You had won a huge pageant, probably the biggest pageant you could at that stage in your state, in that system. And then fast forward to this pageant, and you were doubting yourself.
Mhm.
Can you just speak a little bit about what happened in between? Like, what led you to that stage where you had anxiety, you were doubting yourself, despite having what any sane person would say, oh, you had massive pageant success, you've got this.
Yeah.
So, can you talk about, even though the fact you won a huge pageant, that self doubt and anxiety can still creep in?
Well, I think that's true that a lot of girls do, and I touched on that in my book, and how a lot of people do. They have this idea that, oh, if I could just win this title, or if I could just have that job, or if I could just have this relationship, or if I could just have, and they have like this mental marker in their head of that's when I'll be happy. That's when
Yep.
my life will feel complete. That's when I'll feel fulfilled. And so for a lot of pageant girls, they think if I could just have that dream title, then all my problems will go away. But
Mm,
in reality, from what I found, those 2 years, I like to say that those 2 years were the best and worst years of my life, the years
wow.
that I had the reign,
Right.
that with those titles, because it is so amazing. There's so many opportunities, and you get to make such a difference. You get to make such an impact, and you get to touch so many people, and it's so incredible to experience that and to feel like you've been able to make an impact in someone's life. But on the inside, you also have so many struggles that you can't always talk. You feel like you can't talk about them,
Yep.
and you feel like you can't show this this ugly side to such a beautiful experience. But in reality, that is there and that exists. And when you do have one of those big titles, a lot of times you put so much pressure on yourself and you feel the need to always be perfect. And that's definitely what I felt throughout, especially the year with Tennessee Teen USA. I like it was crazy. I always felt the need to always, look really put together, and those are good things, but also you also have to give yourself some grace, because you're a human, you're a person, and
Mm,
you're not gonna be perfect, and so you can't hold yourself to that expectation. um, and then throughout my year with USA National Team, one of my biggest struggles was I was actually experiencing a lot of bullying at that time, um,
wow.
within the industry, and so that was really, really a difficult thing, and that's still I actually still, it's still pretty recent, I still have even anxiety from that. And so
Yeah.
that was really, really difficult to experience and to go through. And that was also something that
Yeah.
I could never put on social media. I could never talk about.
Yeah.
Um, and so it is really hard, but there's so much more to having a title than what people
Mm,
sometimes see, and what title holders show, because I don't want to discourage anyone from going for those big titles, because I think if those are your dreams, then you should absolutely go for it, just
yep.
like how I'm still pursuing
Yeah.
other titles
Yep.
that are my dreams. And so you can't let those things stop you. But I do think that awareness within the industry is really important, that people know that it's not a band-aid, that a crown is not a band-aid for
Yeah.
your problems. And a lot of times it can even be a magnifying glass on those things.